As we navigate the complexities of life, it's easy to get caught up in our own strength and abilities. We often think that being righteous means never making mistakes or stumbling. But the truth is, even a righteous man falls 7 times. This phrase, which comes from Proverbs 24:16, reminds us that we're all going to face challenges and setbacks along the way. Key is not in avoiding them entirely, but in how we respond when we do fall. Do we let our failures define us, or do we use them as opportunities for growth and learning? As we explore what it means to be a righteous man who falls 7 times, we'll delve into the biblical wisdom that can guide us through life's ups and downs. We'll examine how the psalmists, prophets, and other biblical authors grappled with their own struggles and failures, and how they emerged stronger and wiser as a result. Through our journey together, we hope to discover new insights into the nature of righteousness and what it means to live a life that's fully surrendered to God. We'll learn from the examples of biblical heroes who faltered but still persevered in their faith, and we'll explore practical ways to apply these principles to our own lives. So let's embark on this journey together, with open hearts and minds ready to receive the wisdom that awaits us. As we walk through the ups and downs of life, may we find ourselves saying, I am not alone in my struggles. I am part of a community that rises up after every fall. A journey through Scripture. Biblical context and key passages. The concept of a righteous man falling 7 times is rooted in Proverbs 24:16, which reminds us that we're all prone to mistakes and setbacks. This idea is reinforced throughout the Bible, where even the most faithful figures experienced struggles and failures. One notable example is King David, who was known for his unwavering commitment to God, despite facing numerous challenges. In Psalm 103:12 he writes, As far as the east is from the west, so far does he remove our transgressions from us. This passage highlights David's reliance on God's forgiveness and mercy, even in the midst of his own failures. Similarly, the prophet Isaiah speaks to this idea in Isaiah 41:10, where he declares, Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. This promise offers comfort and reassurance that we're never alone in our struggles. Another key passage is Psalm 37:23-24, which says, The steps of a man are established by the Lord when he walks by them. Though he stumble, he shall not fall, for the Lord holds his hand. This verse reminds us that even when we falter, God's got our backs and will help us find our footing. Proverbs 24:16. The righteous man falls 7 times. Note, this is a paraphrase of the original text. Psalms 103:12. David's reliance on God's forgiveness and mercy. Isaiah 41. God's promise to strengthen and help us in our struggles. Psalm 37:23-24. The Lord holds our hand when we stumble. Meaning in key themes. The phrase, a righteous man falls 7 times, suggests that righteousness is not about being flawless, but about perseverance in the face of adversity. This concept is rooted in the idea that we're all prone to mistakes and setbacks, even when we're doing our best to follow God's will. This paradox is echoed throughout the Bible, where even the most faithful figures experienced struggles and failures. The story of King David, for example, serves as a powerful reminder that even those who are deeply committed to God can stumble and make mistakes. One key aspect of this theme is the concept of falling versus failing. While we may experience setbacks and disappointments, these experiences can ultimately serve as opportunities for growth and learning. In other words, a righteous man doesn't just fall. He gets back up, dusts himself off, and keeps moving forward. Another important aspect of this theme is the role of God's forgiveness and mercy in our lives. As David reminds us in Psalm 103:12, as far as the east is from the west, so far does he remove our transgressions from us. This promise offers comfort and reassurance that we're never alone in our struggles, and that God is always ready to forgive and restore us when we stumble. This theme also highlights the importance of community and support in our lives. As we navigate life's ups and downs, it's essential to have people around us who can offer encouragement, guidance, and a listening ear. By surrounding ourselves with others who share our values and faith, we can build resilience and learn to face challenges with confidence. Finally, this theme encourages us to view failures as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. As the prophet Isaiah writes in Isaiah 41, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This promise reminds us that even when we stumble, God's got our backs, and that He'll help us find our footing and keep moving forward. Practical application today. So how can we apply this biblical wisdom to our own lives? One practical way is to approach failures as opportunities for growth and learning. When we stumble, rather than getting discouraged or giving up, we can ask ourselves what we can learn from the experience, and how we can use that knowledge to improve and move forward. Another practical application is to cultivate a sense of community and support in our lives. By surrounding ourselves with people who share our values and faith, we can build resilience and develop the courage to face challenges head-on. We can also draw on the Bible's promise of God's forgiveness and mercy as a source of comfort and reassurance. Whether we're struggling with past mistakes or facing new challenges, we can remind ourselves that God is always ready to forgive, and that He'll help us find our footing when we stumble. Finally, we can view failures as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. By embracing this perspective, we can develop a growth mindset that encourages us to take risks, learn from our mistakes, and keep moving forward, even in the face of adversity. Practice self-compassion when you stumble, and ask yourself what you can learn from the experience. Cultivate a sense of community and support in your life. By surrounding yourself with people who share your values and faith, draw on the Bible's promise of God's forgiveness and mercy as a source of comfort and reassurance. View failures as stepping stones rather than roadblocks, and use them as conclusion. In the end, it's not about being flawless or perfect, but about perseverance in the face of adversity. As we've explored throughout this journey, a righteous man falls 7 times, and it's how he responds to those falls that defines him. We can learn from the examples of biblical heroes who faltered but still persevered in their faith. King David, for instance, relied on God's forgiveness and mercy to overcome his mistakes. Prophet Isaiah reminded us that we're never alone in our struggles, and that God is always ready to strengthen and help us. So let's remember the wisdom of Proverbs 24:16 and approach life's ups and downs with a sense of hope and resilience. When we stumble, let's ask ourselves what we can learn from the experience and how we can use that knowledge to improve and move forward. And always, let's hold on to the promise of God's forgiveness and mercy, knowing that He'll help us find our footing when we fall.